Hi, I'm Simon from Astro and welcome to our night sky guide for the month of August 2026. As you can see, we're back here at the Shakespeare Gallery in Scarborough with our latest photography exhibition, Celestial Adventures 3. It's been great to be back in such a beautiful venue, and we've had a wonderful time sharing some of our latest work with you all. We've met so many lovely people, and we'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone that's come and visited us here at the Shakespeare. You are all stars. This month is jam-packed with special celestial events, including both Mercury and Venus reaching greatest elongation, a selection of lunar and planetary conjunctions, the peak of the Perseid meteor shower under perfect conditions, a partial lunar eclipse, and the biggest astronomical event of the year, the total solar eclipse. We here at Astro are super excited for the upcoming solar eclipse, and with the eclipse being such a special celestial event, we decided to make a whole section of our night sky guide dedicated to the solar eclipse. And so if you'd like to know more details about this year's most anticipated celestial event, please make sure to keep watching. Let's dive into our night sky guide for the month of August 2026.
Sunrise and sunset times throughout August will be as follows. On the 1st, the sun will rise at 5:25 am and set at 9:05 pm. On the 11th, the sun will rise at 5:42 am and set at 8:46 pm. On the 21st, the sun will rise at 5:59 am and set at 8:24 pm. And on the 31st, the sun will rise at 6:16 am and set at 8:01 pm. Moon phases now. The moon reached its full phase on the 29th of July and will start the month of August as a waning gibbous. Last quarter will be on the 6th, new moon will be on the 12th, first quarter will be on the 20th, and full moon will be on the 28th. As usual, the moon will be paying some close visits to other celestial objects this month, and these meetings will be discussed in more detail in our highlights section. For all the Aurora chasers, you guys are in luck as we are gradually moving back into what most people consider the Northern Light season, due to the nights becoming longer and darker. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for more great Aurora displays, and if you'd like to be kept in the loop with regular updates and alerts for possible Aurora displays, please follow our Facebook page. For Milky Way fanatics, August is still a great time to capture photographs of the Milky Way core early in the night. However, towards the end of the month, the Milky Way core season begins to come to a close, and so make sure to make the most of the galactic centre whilst it's still visible. For fans of Noctilucent Clouds, August is when the NRC season begins to close, and so make sure to make the most of those northern twilight skies while they still last. Onto the constellations now. Looking towards the north throughout August, Draco the Dragon and King Cepheus appear near the zenith, along with Ursa Minor and Carmela Pardalis just below. Lacerta the Lizard and Queen Cassiopeia can also be found a little further east. The Great Square of Pegasus is now very prominent in the eastern skies, and Andromeda continues to rise higher. Also in the east, Aries is now visible, rising along with Pisces, and Perseus and Auriga are following just behind. Lynx and Leo Minor are beginning to dip below the northern horizon, and just above, Ursa Major can now be seen standing the right way up, and a little further left, Coma Berenices can be seen setting in the west. Looking south, the asterism known as the Summer Triangle, which is created by the brightest stars of Cygnus, Lyra and Aquila, continues to dominate the southern skies, appearing near the zenith. To the west, Hercules, Corona Borealis and Bootes remain very prominent. Beneath them, Virgo and Libra are dipping below the horizon, but Serpens and Ophiuchus remain easy to observe. Sagittarius and the Milky Way core remain visible close to the southern horizon, and to the east, Capricornus and Aquarius are continuing to rise higher in the skies. General bright planet viewing now. The start of August offers some fairly good opportunities to observe the often elusive planet Mercury, which rises 1.5 hours before the Sun on the 1st and reaches greatest western elongation on the 2nd. Towards the end of the month, Mercury will disappear from view, reaching solar conjunction on the 27th. Mercury starts August in Gemini before racing across Cancer and ending the month in Leo. The super bright planet Venus remains fairly easy to spot at the start of August, but despite reaching greatest eastern elongation on the 15th, will appear low in the sky due to the shallow angle of the evening ecliptic. Venus will be easiest to observe at the start of the month, setting 1 hour 15 minutes after the Sun on the 1st, and setting 40 minutes after the Sun on the 31st. Venus starts the month only just within the boundaries of Leo before moving into and remaining in Virgo at around 5 AM on the 1st. The observing window for the red planet Mars continues to improve throughout August, with Mars rising just under 4 hours before the Sun on the 1st and a bit over 5 hours before the Sun on the 31st. Mars starts the month in Taurus and ends August in Gemini. The king of the planets Jupiter reached solar conjunction on the 29th of July, and so starts August too close to the Sun to be visible, but as the month progresses, Jupiter will gradually emerge in the morning skies, and on the 31st, Jupiter will rise around 2 hours and 25 minutes before the Sun. Jupiter remains in Cancer throughout August. Saturn starts the month fairly easy to observe for early morning astronomers and continues to become easier to spot throughout August, appearing high in the sky during darkness, rising at 10:54 PM on the 1st and 8:56 PM on the 31st. Saturn remains in Pisces throughout August. And now our monthly showcase of your amazing photographs in follower favourites. We love seeing your beautiful photographs, so make sure to keep on sending them in to us on our socials, and maybe you might see your photo on next month's Night Sky Guide. First up, we have some amazing Noctilucent Cloud photographs. Here's one from Adam Brow, who captured this incredible shot from above the clouds inside the cockpit of an airplane. Next up, we have this lovely NLC shot from Jordan Henry in Montrose. Here's a cracking shot from Karen Boys, who captured some NLC behind this gnarly tree in York. Another great Noctilucent Cloud shot here from Astro Aurora, who framed some NLC behind this circular sculpture. And now onto an electrifying shot of some lightning from Roger Turner. Next up, we have this fantastic star trails and satellite trails image from Carl Orchard. And to finish up, we have a nice selection of deep space images. Here's a super image of the Western Veil Nebula from Claire Foster. Next, we have this fantastic image of the Lagoon Nebula from Nancy Schuster. And finally, we have this highly detailed image of the Elephant Trunk Nebula from Simon Temblett. And so there you go, there's a handful of some of our favourite images that were sent in to us over the last month. Which one was your favourite? Let us know in the comment section below. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we know that some of you are super excited and want to learn more about this August solar eclipse, and so before we jump into our highlights section for this month, let's talk about the upcoming astronomical highlight of the year. On the 12th of August 2026, the moon will pass directly in front of the sun, and if you're in the right place, you'll witness one of nature's most breathtaking spectacles, a total solar eclipse. Here in the UK, we will experience a deep partial eclipse, and although we won't experience totality, this is an event you absolutely cannot miss. The path of totality begins up in the Arctic, sweeping down across the eastern coast of Greenland, then clipping the very western edge of Iceland before continuing south, passing just to the west of the UK, and finally crossing northern Spain all the way through to the eastern coast. The path of totality takes a dramatic journey across the North Atlantic, and if you're anywhere along that narrow corridor, you're in for the full spectacle. Here in the UK, we're in for a really special view. This is a deep partial eclipse, and the further southwest you are, the better your experience will be. The best spot in mainland Britain is Land's End in Cornwall, where up to 95% of the sun will disappear behind the moon. Head across the water to the southwest of Ireland, and you're looking at up to 96% coverage, the best view in the British Isles. Travel north and the numbers shift, but only slightly. In Manchester, 91% of the sun will be covered, and up in Aberdeen, 89%. Wherever you are in the UK, it's going to be a great show. For central UK, the eclipse begins at 6:13 PM. The maximum eclipse will be at 7:10 PM, and the eclipse will end at 8:03 PM. Timings will differ slightly depending on your location, but these are a good general guide. This means we've got just under 2 hours from first to last contact, with the peak moments just after 7 in the evening. Across the UK, there will be many solar eclipse viewing events taking place. Astronomy clubs, observatories and community groups will all be getting involved, so it's well worth looking for an event in your local area. And even if you are nowhere near the path of the eclipse, you can always watch a live stream of the event online too. For those travelling to see totality, the two standout destinations are Iceland and Spain. Iceland sits right on the edge of the path, and so only the western fringe of the island falls within the totality corridor, so where exactly you are in Iceland will make all the difference. Further south, Spain gets a much clearer run. Totality sweeps from the north all the way across to the eastern coast, making it one of the most accessible destinations in Europe for eclipse chasers. Wherever you're observing, safety is essential. Never look directly at the sun without certified eclipse glasses. The only exception to this is during the brief moments of totality itself, and only if you are confirmed to be within the path of totality. However, if you don't have any eclipse glasses, don't worry, you can still enjoy the eclipse safely. A simple pinhole projector made from a piece of card will project an image of the crescent sun onto the ground, and even a standard household colander held up to the sunlight will cast dozens of little projections of the sun. So get your eclipse glasses or pinhole projectors ready, find a spot with a clear view to the west and enjoy the show safely. Solar eclipses are rare, beautiful and genuinely humbling. The next total solar eclipse that will be visible from the UK won't be until 2090, so while we won't get totality this time, the 12th of August is still a moment worth stepping outside for. Mark your calendars, tell your friends, and we'll see you under the shadow of the moon. Okay, let's begin looking at the rest of our highlights for the month of August, and our first highlight for the month will be Mercury reaching greatest western elongation. On the 2nd of August, Mercury reaches a point in relation to the Earth and Sun known as greatest western elongation, and will appear at its greatest distance from the Sun in the sky. Times around greatest elongations are usually the best times to observe the inferior planets in our solar system, and the times around the 2nd will offer some fairly good chances to observe the often elusive planet Mercury. On the night of the 3rd, the 72% illuminated waning gibbous moon will appear close by to the amazing ring planet Saturn. Look to the east just after 10 to watch the pair rise above the horizon together. In the early morning of the 7th, the 38% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the Pleiades open star cluster, which is also known as the Seven Sisters. Look to the northeast at around 11:30 PM on the night of the 6th to see the pair rise above the horizon together. In the early morning of the 9th, the 17% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the red planet Mars and the bright star Elnath of Auriga and Taurus. Look to the northeast just after midnight to watch the trio rise above the horizon together. In the early morning of the 11th, the 3% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the speedy planet Mercury and the bright star Pollux. Look to the northeast just after 3 AM to watch the trio rise above the horizon together. In the early morning of the 12th, the almost invisible 0.4% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to and align with the planets Jupiter and Mercury. This will be an extremely tough gathering to observe, appearing low on the horizon just before sunrise, and will require the aid of binoculars. If you do try to observe this meeting with binoculars, please remember to exercise caution when viewing things that are close to the sun. On the 12th of August, the moon will reach its new phase, leaving the skies free from natural light pollution. This means the nights on and around the 12th will be ideal for viewing faint objects in the night sky and or taking photographs of the night sky. And also remember, the exact time the moon reaches its new phase will result in a total solar eclipse on this date. The night of the 13th of August will host the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. Every year, the Perseid meteor shower is one of the most anticipated celestial events due to its high meteor rate and the mild nighttime temperatures at this time of year. Perseid meteors are famous for the beautifully colourful ion trails they leave behind them. The radiant is well placed for Northern Hemisphere viewers, and the Perseids always put on a great show. The Perseid meteor shower is active between the 16th of July and the 24th of August, and on an average year can produce up to 100 meteors per hour under perfect conditions. This year, due to the peak occurring only one day after the new moon, conditions will be perfect for viewing meteors. Let's just hope we have some clear skies too. For more information on the Perseid meteor shower, including hints and tips on how to maximise your chances of viewing meteors, please read our comprehensive meteor shower Facebook posts. On the 14th of August, Venus reaches a point in relation to the Earth and Sun known as greatest eastern elongation, and will appear at its greatest distance from the Sun in the sky. Times around greatest elongations are usually the best times to observe the inferior planets in our solar system. However, due to the angle of the ecliptic becoming shallower throughout the month, Venus will be easier to observe at the start of the month. In the early morning of the 15th, the speedy and often elusive planet Mercury will appear close by to the gas giant Jupiter. Look to the northeast at around 4:25 am to see the pair rising above the horizon together. During the evening of the 15th, the 11% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear close by to the super bright planet Venus. Look to the west just after sunset to observe this pairing. On the night of the 20th, the 57% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to Antares, the brightest star of Scorpius. Look to the southwest after sunset to observe this pairing. On the night of the 23rd, the 82% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to the bright star Nunci of Sagittarius. Look to the south from darkness to observe this pairing. The early morning of the 28th will host the full moon of August, which is known to some people as the Sturgeon moon. As the early morning of the 28th will be when the moon will appear most illuminated, the night of the 27th into the morning of the 28th will be the night the moon will appear most full. The early morning of the 28th will also host another special celestial event, a partial lunar eclipse. Just before it sets, the moon will travel within the Earth's shadow, with 93% of its surface being in shade during the maximum of the eclipse. The start of the main eclipse will be at around 3:34 am, when the left-hand side of the moon will begin to visibly darken. Greatest eclipse will occur at around 5:13 am, and unfortunately not all of the eclipse will be visible, and the moon will begin to set whilst a portion of the moon will still be in shade at roughly 6:20 am. Timings will vary slightly depending on your location, but are a good general guide. And our final highlight for the month of August will take place in the early morning of the 31st, when the 91% illuminated waning gibbous moon will appear close by to the amazing ring planet Saturn. Look to the south during the night of the 30th into the early morning of the 31st for a chance to observe this pairing.
That wraps up another month, and as you can see, there's plenty to look forward to throughout the month of August 2026. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please make sure to press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and feel free to follow us on our socials on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, if you head out to enjoy the night sky at any point in the near future, we wish you good luck and clear skies.